Good afternoon and thank you for keeping it TV 47. You're watching Newsfeed, which begins right now with me, Ruth Mulandi. Now, a few hours to the start of the KCPE exams in the country, ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi has conveyed his success wishes to the over 1 million candidates expected to sit for the national exams. Elsewhere in Kisii County, Boracharo Ward MCA Ibrahim Ongubo has promised assistance to candidates who post good results, even as he warned them against cheating in the exams. He also appealed to well-wishers in the society to provide assistance to vulnerable candidates during the exam period by donating required exam materials.
On behalf of the Amani National Congress Party, ANC, I wish to convey my message of good wishes and success to the 1,938,667 pupils sitting for the KCPE and KCSE exams. I acknowledge that the class of 2020 has prepared for these exams under very tough and challenging conditions because of the devastating COVID-19 pandemic. I wish to sincerely thank the Ministry of Education and teachers across the country for their diligent efforts and measures taken to ensure that learning resumed and the pupils are effectively prepared for the national examinations. I also wish to thank the Kenya National Examinations Council for the excellent work it has done in ensuring the examinations are ready on time. To the KCPE and KCSE class of 2020, I wish you Godspeed as you prepare for this important moment in your life. Ensure you put your best foot forward. Remember that it is only during challenging times such as this that your courage is expressed. Go out and conquer these exams. Your parents and teachers are counting on you for a good result. God bless all candidates, God bless us all, and God bless Kenya.
Now, small-scale gold miners in Masurura, Lolgorian, and Gem in Narok County have been asked to take into account the devastating effects mercury has caused to their lives while using it in gold production. Speaking in Lolgorian town during the inspection of a countrywide project that is aimed at reducing and eliminating mercury use, Mayan Asaino, the project manager for the Integrated Sound Management of Mercury in small-scale gold mining at the Ministry of Environment, said that it was unfortunate that most small-scale gold miners associate the effects and deaths caused by mercury to witchcraft. Saino said that most of the gold miners have resorted to the use of sodium cyanide as an alternative chemical to mercury without putting into consideration the dangers it poses to the families, livestock, and the environment at large.
Right now there's a lot of issues with no safety gear, no safety regulations. But it is a real economy, and we really believe strongly in the gold mining communities of Kenya. And now we've got a link here to the international community through the governments of Kenya, all the way up through the UN, all the way to the World Bank, and through a project called Planet Gold. And you'll be seeing that over the next 3 years to reduce mercury. That's the main goal of this project, reduce mercury. And one of my main goals is to assist in that, and also bring investors here, as well as any other kind of safety issues and training. We have training videos.
Internally as a country, we don't have the capacity to measure mercury. But with the help of global partners and with the help of the local leaders and the local community, this country can be able to generate its own data that can inform policy and interventions that come to the people. For now, as a country, we do not have data. I cannot really tell you that so-and-so has died out of mercury complications, because a lot of times in this country, someone gets sick, you're a miner, everybody thinks you've been bewitched, yet deep down it could be effects of mercury.
Now, Susan Njeri Waititu, the widow of the late Juja MP Francis Waititu, will now fly the Jubilee Party flag in the upcoming May by-election. Njeri was declared the winner of the Jubilee nominations that were concluded last night, where she emerged the winner with 1,596 votes among 5 contestants who were garnering up for the Jubilee ticket. Kiambu Governor James Nyoro, who was present when the final tally was announced at the Thiririka Primary School Tallying Center, urged those who were competing with Njeri to join hands to ensure that the Jubilee Party retains the seat. The Jubilee Party chairman for Juja constituency, Elijah Njoroge, who is also Biashara Ward MCA, termed the exercise as free and fair amid previous concerns by other contestants of possible rigging.
Zao ndio nyingi na ndio zimejaza hilo debe, nikaweza kuibuka mshindi.
Na tumeona 65 polling station si kidogo, ni kazi imekuwa kubwa, imekuwa na mambo mingi kwa sababu ya COVID, lakini tungetaka kushukuru chama. Vile sasa tungetaka kusema ni wale wanachama wa Jubilee ambao walikuwa wakipigana na Susan, kwa kweli wakuja tufanye kazi pamoja, kwa sababu chama yetu ni kubwa. Kama huwezi kupata kiti hii, unaweza pata ingine.
Now, Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana has asked the government to encourage more Kenyans to get the free COVID-19 vaccine, which is receiving apathy even among healthcare workers. The death of Kericho Deputy Governor Susan Kikwai has made fellow governors to be in the front line of encouraging Kenyans to get the jab. Governor Kibwana has urged the Health Cabinet Secretary to involve governors in all health drives related to the COVID-19 so that the exercise gains momentum fast.
Mama Deputy Governor wa Kericho kutuacha kulingana na shida hii ya corona 19 COVID-19. Tunasema ni pole kwa governor wa Kericho, kwa watu wa Kericho, kwa watu wa Kenya kwa ujumla, kwa sababu ya kumpoteza Susan Kikwai, Deputy Governor wa Kericho. Na hili pia ni jambo linatueleza kwamba corona ni ugonjwa wa kweli, na mambo yale yote tunaelezwa na serikali tufanye jinsi Profesa Kaloki, mkubwa wa KMTC, amesema ni lazima tufuate.
We want to request the National Government Ministry of Health and the county governments. We have now characterized health workers as frontline workers. It is very good. We have also said security officers are frontline workers. Thank you. We have also said teachers are frontline workers. Thank you. We want to request for purposes of this vaccine, we add also the clergy as frontline workers.
And elsewhere, the Wiper Party has challenged former Machakos Senator Johnston Muthama to retire from politics after the humiliating defeat in the Machakos senatorial by-election last week. Muthama's candidate, Abanas Ngele, fronted by the UDA party, was floored by Muthama's ex-wife, Agnes Kavindu of Wiper Party. Wiper Party Organizing Secretary and Kathiani Member of Parliament Robert Mbui says Kavindu's win is a testament that Lower Eastern is a Wiper Party Kalonzo Musyoka's political turf. Mbui also says that the win is a major boost for Kalonzo in the 2022 presidential race negotiating table.
Nataka kumkumbusha, wewe ni kiongozi, uliongea tukikusikia na tukikuona, na watu sababu wanakuamini kwamba uliongea ile ambayo ilikuwa natoka kwa roho yako na akili yako, tafadhali jiuzulu. Hatutakuwa na Muthama wawili wakiongea kwa functions zetu. Sasa tuko na Muthama yule tutapea nafasi, ambaye ni senator, ambaye ni mama, tutampa nafasi ataongea. Lakini hata mzee akija kwa mazishi, mzee akija kwa harusi, mzee akija kwa function ya watu, atakaa kama wale wengine. Asikize senator wake vile anaongea, asikize viongozi wale wengine vile tunaongea, lakini hatutakuwa na seneta mwingine wa kando anaongea kwa functions za Machakos County. Sasa nataka kuambia watu wa Machakos, asanteni sana. Pia mlituonyesha kwamba nyinyi ni watu watulivu na ni watu ambaye muna heshima na ni watu wa pole.
And now over to Kisumu, where 3 people drowned on Saturday evening after a boat capsized in Lake Victoria at Arongo Beach, Seme sub-county in Kisumu. Police say 2 more people are missing. The search and rescue operation resumed Sunday morning. Police reports say that 6 people who had traveled from Nairobi for a funeral service in the area had taken a leisure boat ride when one of them rose up to take a selfie, thus tilting the outboard engine boat. The 3 bodies of those who drowned were retrieved by local divers and fishermen and were taken to the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital mortuary in Kisumu. A local acting chief, Shadrach Ochola, says the boat had 8 people on board at the time of the accident. 3 others were rescued.
Sasa sisi tulikuwa kwa banda tukaona vile wanafanya. Dakika hiyo tukaona wanatoka wanaenda kutravel kidogo tu waone ndani ya maji. Walifika tu kiasi kidogo, hawakufika mbali. Kwa vile hawatakangi watu wafike mbali sababu ni wageni. Sasa walifika tu hapa karibu. Vile walifika karibu, sisi tukaona kama mama amesimama anataka kupiga picha. Tukafikiria ni kama kawaida. Kumbe aliload hiyo boat na ikazama. Ndio tukaanza kupiga kelele. Sasa walienda kuwachukua, kufika pale wakapata hao 3 wako juu. Huyu mtoto mdogo alikuwa anasink, wakamtoa na hao wengine walitolewa, wakalazwa hapo wakianza kujaribu kuwasaidia.
One of the visitors within that boat stood and she was trying to capture some elements in the water whereby they lose control and they eventually fall in the water.
I wish these people could have take precautions. We could have not encountered the death of these people because they never put precautions by wearing life jackets, and that's the reason why we've lost our colleagues. I'm really appealing to the government if they can help us with the divers to retrieve the remaining 2 bodies.
Indeed, a sad story. Condolences to the friends and families who have lost their loved ones in that accident. And with that story, we take a short break, but we'll be right back with more news.
Are you a storyteller? What is that untold story in your village? Tell us the story in 3 minutes. Submit that story to Your Untold Stories at tv47.co.ke and stand a chance to win a camera and other goodies. The top stories will be aired on TV47 and the viewer will vote for the best story through the SMS number 22047. The story must be an evergreen story that has never been told before. The deadline for submitting the stories is March 15, 2021. The link is by SMS on TV47, the home of Untold Story. Only the wearer knows where it pinches the most. Soil fertility, proper temperature, water, are just some of the factors needed to make that crop germinate. And for that animal, adequate feeds and healthy conditions is what they need. Kilimo Diaries takes you to different farmers, markets, and processing companies and have you fully equipped for that agriculture venture. Kilimo Diaries, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. This month, The Throwdown treats your taste buds with a sweet ride down dessert heaven with delicious and tasty recipes that will make your sweet tooth tingle. The Throwdown, every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Are you a storyteller? What is that untold story in your village? Tell us the story in 3 minutes. Submit that story to your untold stories at tv47.co.ke and stand a chance to win a camera and other goodies. The top stories will be aired on TV47 and the viewer will vote for the best story through the SMS number 22047. The story must be an evergreen story that has never been told before. The deadline for submitting the stories is March 15, 2021. The link is by SMS on TV47, the home of Untold Stories. Only the wearer knows where it pinches the most. Soil fertility, proper temperature, water.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is indeed Newsfeed on TV47 and I am Ruth Mulandi. Remember, you can always watch us live on Facebook via TV47 Kenya on our handle and also interact with us on the same issue. Now, moving on, the government says it is determined to overcome the impacts of the novel coronavirus pandemic on the country's tourism sector. Government spokesman Cyrus Oguna says the state is putting great efforts to reactivate the tourism industry, which has been one of the economic sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. He said unprecedented measures to contain the virus, such as restrictions on travel, have brought the tourism economy to a standstill. Speaking to the media in Mombasa at the scenic Mamangina Waterfront Park, Oguna said lockdown measures that have kept away foreign travelers have dealt the sector a big blow.
Sekta ya utalii kwa mchango wake kwa uchumi wetu wa nchi ina takriban 9.3, ambao ni mchango mkubwa sana. Lakini pia inaajiri watu milioni 2.5 kwa pamoja. Kuna wale ambao wanaajiriwa moja kwa moja, lakini pia kuna wale ambao wamepata ajira kutokana na sekta hii ya utalii. Kwa hivyo nyakati ambazo tumekuwa na janga hili la corona, sekta hiyo ya utalii iliweza kuathirika pakubwa mno. Wala sio hiyo peke yake. Tunajua kuna sekta nyingi ambazo zimeathirika, sekta ya usafiri, sekta ya uchukuzi, sekta ya elimu na mengine mengi. Ambapo kufikia wakati huu, kwa ujumla, sekta hiyo imepoteza nafasi za kazi karibu milioni 1.2. Kwa hivyo juhudi za serikali kwa sasa hivi ni kuweza kuangalia jinsi gani ya kuweza kusaidia sekta hii iweze kuinuka nyakati ambazo corona itakuwa imetuacha ama itakuwa imeondoka. Juhudi hizo hazitafua dafu nyakati ambazo hoteli hazijakuwa tayari kwa njia nyingi, iwe ni njia ya usafi, ni njia ya kuboresha muundo msingi kwa hoteli, iwe ni njia ya kuweza kufundisha wafanyakazi, iwe ni njia ya kuweza kuboresha internet kwa mahoteli. Kwa hivyo kwa wakati huu tunapopigana janga hili, serikali ikaona ni vizuri itoe msaada kwa hoteli hizi ama kwa biashara hizi ili waweze kujiandaa kwamba nyakati ambazo ugonjwa huu utakapoondoka kabisa ama itakuwa imedhibitiwa, basi tutakuwa katika hali nzuri ya kuweza kupokea watalii na wageni wengine.
And over to Mandera, where over 775,000 residents within the county and her neighbors are a step away from a humanitarian crisis if no effective mitigation efforts are put in place in the coming weeks following months of drought. The center is no longer able to hold the region where residents for decades have grown used to dry spells without efforts to curb the ravaging drought by county authorities becoming increasingly overwhelmed. As David Mudhoka now reports, livelihoods continue to be put at risk by the drought crisis amid other imposing dangers such as year-old locusts, invasion and banditry.
These are the scenes that welcome you to Takaba South, one of the worst hit regions by drought in the dry Mandera County. Carcasses of camels, widely referred to as ships of the desert due to their endurance even in the harshest of deserts, lie on bare earth. The region has not received even a drop of rain in the past 2 years. More camels, goats and cows continue to drop dead by the hour. Here, every tick of the clock is a matter between life and death, with the menacing dry spell stretching into the horizons and threatening to rip bare the only livelihood known to the Mandera people, pastoralism. With the humanitarian crisis in the offing in Mandera, this borehole in the heart of Takaba is the only hope for survival for tens of thousands of men, women, children and livestock. Some of the livestock, accompanied by herders, have been forced to trek for tens of kilometers to quench their thirst. But some have not been able to make it here, succumbing to dehydration. And among those who have been able to defy the pangs of thirst, some died due to exhaustion. But the sad tale does not end there. Some of the livestock, too thirsty, have often drunk to their death, while others instantly drop dead on the queue.
First thing in the morning, mbuzi ndio taanza kunywa maji. Baada ya mbuzi, ng'ombe ndio taanza. Baada ya ng'ombe, kuanzia saa 7 saa 8 ndio ngamia anaingia. Magari inakaa park hapa apati maji, tulisema magari tashota usiku.
The journey back is much harder for the pastoralists and their livestock, who are forced to use terrains invaded by bandits on their way back to their homes or in search for greener pastures.
Locust ilikuwa mingi. Hii ndio inakuwa barabara ya locust. Paka hata sasa inaweza kusema sisi hapana wataalamu, lakini vile tunasemanga mifugo imeanza kuhara. Hii mifugo ya Takaba South yote, ngamia, ng'ombe, mbuzi zinahara, zinaanza kukufa.
It is only a matter of days before thirst strikes again and the cycle begins from the top.
Wananchi na mnyama kama ng'ombe, kama mbuzi, kama ngamia ile na konda na shinda kufika.
Hii borehole moja hatutoshi sisi. Tunaomba survey ifanywe, borehole nyingine iongezewe sisi. Ama in future pia tunaomba mega dam.
With this increase in demand for water in Takaba, the county government of Mandera has made it a routine to bring water closer to residents through bowsers to fill the glaring gap. With the same routine, cows and camels take turns in drinking water from the troughs before residents and herders can quench their thirst. Once they have drunk to their fill, it is time to return home, unsure when the bowsers will return. But some regions in Mandera are not so lucky. The troughs that have been reliable for the past years are no longer receiving water. They are a shadow of their former self, literally gathering the thick brown Mandera dust.
The last 2 seasons of rain, in the October, November 2020 and April, May 2020, failed in the county. So only we never received much. Less than 20%.
At Banisa town, 75 kilometers to the north, residents, some of whom have queued here for hours, are yet to get Mandera's precious commodity. This water tank is the only beacon of hope for tens of thousands of residents who are no longer receiving tap water originating from earth pans in the region. It is not a guarantee that this flow of water will last if a bowser from the county administration does not arrive in a few hours.
Hiyo jergen maji naingia kidogo tu. Kupata mtu sasa, mtu anaweza kaa hapa mpaka jioni kwa ajili ya hiyo maji, vile watu wako wengi. Tungependa magari zikiletwa ziwekwe tu hapa tupelekewe nje.
Shughuli inafunga
madarasa anafunga, hoteli inafunga, kila biashara yote anasimama.
We have 320 water tracking centers, and of that is 220 are for livestock water tracking. What we are doing to mitigate this drought is we are doing water tracking to all those centers, 320.
It was not always like this. This spot was not as popular as it is now, with residents who used to receive tap water in their compounds. This tank too received a constant supply of the water until earth pans in the region dried up. The pans are now a huge web of cracks, save for this pan that is now a puddle of mud, common with creatures of the air. In anticipation of rains that no one knows when they will pound the earth, the county government is in a race against time to desilt pans that have over the years become prone to siltation.
When it rains, we need to harvest and prepare the reservoirs for the coming rains so that we can harvest enough runoff to be used, stored and used during the dry spell in future.
Plans to drill more boreholes in Mandera are also underway amid the risk of drilling in vain.
We are also drilling